There we are, we're recording. Right, so Genius Slot, Hertford, June.
Stay on this side.
So Genius Slot, what's to be over here? The Genius Slot is designed to challenge us. Did anyone notice the interaction with Kay and Claudia earlier on?
Yes.
Yeah.
What did you notice about that interaction? Not to make it wrong or right or whatever, what did you notice about it?
They were questioning and challenging each other. Yeah.
There was a little bit of kind of, that doesn't quite fit what I already see things as. And one of the things, and I love it, I love the fact that you have the courage to just go, hold on, how does that, because you're interested. You know, you hear what Kay's sharing, it may not fit your model of the way the world looks, but you know something's going on here, right? Palpably. And if
because I've never heard of tapping.
No, exactly, right? Who here has heard of tapping? Who here got a whole new level of understanding because of Kay's share? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
I have.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right. So in the vision and mission, we say we're not out to prove a model. We, Be Collaboration, are not endorsing what Kay is sharing. If Claudia got up and said something completely opposite to Kay, we'd listen to her in exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Then there'd be a scrap.
Yeah, probably.
Grr.
What are you getting about that? Come on.
For me, it's about being open to other people
Yeah.
and just listening with full attention.
Yeah. And how easy is that really?
Well, for me, it's easy, but I know a lot of people find it really hard.
One mark of intelligence for a human being is to be able to engage with an idea without having to believe it or agree with it. It's a massive skill set. In this time of cognitive dissonance and new paradigm thinking and information that may come completely contrary to the way you see the world up until now, having the ability to engage with information on its own merit, without judgment, without filtering it, is a real big skill. So the Genius Slot is about pushing those boundaries even further. Yeah? And I'm not looking for your agreement. And if you did a Genius Slot, I'd urge you not to go for agreement, but go for speak from your heart. So I'm presenting something, I'm engaging with you at the level of your genius. And your job is to what? And?
Challenge.
Collaborate.
Engage, collaborate. Yeah, exactly. And work, I'd go with Tarek on that. Work it out for yourself. Because this isn't school. This isn't a class. At the end, we're going to test you and go, "You passed, Tarek." No one thought you would, but you did. No one's going to pass, and there's no failing here. Is there time? There's no. You can't fail here, can you? Even if you don't speak up.
It's okay if you don't speak up either.
Exactly. No,
Yes.
she does not stop talking.
Can we beat him up now? Are you going to say yes?
Yes.
Yeah! But no!
If she could, she'd be up here hugging you right now. So that's the Genius Slot, right? So when we start being inspired, I present this picture, don't I? Or something like it, and I kind of say, "What if I told you?" And we talk about this idea of presenting information. In fact, I'm in the process of putting together a consultancy called Red Blue. The idea is take the blue pill, go back to everything you already know, fine, or take the red pill and we're going to go down a rabbit hole.
And have a big adventure.
And who knows where we'll come out, right? So, what if I told you, and I know every one of you has heard this before, even our guests have heard this because I've said the same thing in the introduction. What if I told you context was key? How many people already heard that, already know it? How many people already get it? Kind of, don't, yes.
Depends what day it
Yeah,
is.
it So will we ever have a session where I don't say context is key? Probably not, because it's something we keep reminding ourselves. And what context did you come here with today? Ross, you know, before you got here, you've been gifted all this wisdom and insight and engagement. What was the context for where you, I mean obviously you're working with Jill, so you probably had a bit more of an insight, but what was your why would you turn up to this?
I think since working with Jill, it's just already very early days, isn't it? But already since the first session, it opened my mind to other possibilities. So even when I started with Jill, I probably had quite a narrow view as I see Jill, she'd help me do this, this and this. And then even after the first session, my whole kind of mindset I could do anything, you know. And
Yeah,
that was like,
isn't that awesome?
yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
So,
Do you think most people you meet around, and I don't mean I can do anything, I'm driven, I'm not going to get beaten. Not that ego-driven, we've all been there, yeah, I'm sure. But that kind of, I'm open to what could come. That's a context, isn't it? That's an amazing context. But managing that context, like managing being open when you suddenly went, boom. Managing being open when someone said something that went completely against what you think the way things are. And going, alright, I just reacted to that, park it, and then still be in that information. So that's managing context as opposed to what I would call identity. Like my personality is curious, I'm interested in stuff, and hold on, that can't be right, you just said something that contravenes everything I know. So managing context is different. So would you say today, I said to you, I am operating from a context of trust. Mm-hmm. Have you experienced trust? Mm-hmm. For you and me, am I creating that sense of trust? Mm-hmm. Do you experience trust? So I don't turn up here as Erkan Ali, the personality. It wouldn't get the job done, I promise you. Anyone who's been out with me socially, would that get the job done? No. No. Even if you haven't been out socially, you know that it doesn't get the job done, right? 2 hours, I was like, this isn't Mecca over here. Right? So then you ask yourself, well then how do you manage and drive context? How do you drive context? Well, first of all, you've got to break preoccupation. You have to break preoccupation. You don't know you're looking for a window that's limited, and you're looking at that as all that's available. You have to step back a bit and then you see the frame. And you go, oh, I thought about money a certain way and now I step back, I see money a different way. Wow. Now the window's grown bigger, hasn't it? Now you see that context within there, but you don't see the context that's still outside your periphery. And that's why this is such a powerful space. Anyone know who this is?
Nicole Kidman.
Theresa May.
Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren. Has anyone seen the meme that's just gone around today with Helen Mirren in it? Okay, I saw it this morning. It's just synchronicity, Jill. It's synchronicity. So there's a picture of Helen Mirren, and anyone heard of Brené Brown?
Yes.
Brené Brown, yeah. So Brené Brown, and this quote was associated with her image, and it says, I think midlife is when the universe gently places her shoulders upon your, her hands upon your shoulders, pulls you close and whispers in your ear, I'm not screwing around, it's time. All of this pretending and performing, these coping mechanisms that you've developed to protect yourself from feeling inadequate and getting hurt has to go. Your armour is preventing you from growing into your gifts. Anyone notice the gifts today we've been bestowed? Mm-hmm. Can you put a price on what K is? Well, you can, it's £50 a month. That's lifetime. A life's time of wisdom and knowledge that we've been contributed today. Your armour is preventing you from growing into your gifts. I understand that you needed these protections when you were small. I understand that you believed your armour would help you secure all of the things you needed to feel worthy of love and belonging. But you're still searching and you're more lost than ever. Time is growing short. Who here is already past halfway?
What is halfway?
I don't know. Whatever it is for you. I'm not.
No.
Oh, you definitely had. No, you're like, I'm not 2/3 in, you are, where you're going. So, time is growing short. There are unexplored adventures ahead of you. Adventures ahead of you. Can you see the synchronicity?
Yeah.
You can't live the rest of your life worried about what other people think. To hell with what they think. You were born worthy of love and belonging. Courage and daring are coursing through you. You were made to live and love with your whole heart. It's time to show up and be seen. That's synchronistic. You know, I'm doing this morning, preparing for this, and this gift was coming at us like a train. How synchronistic they come together. Can you hear almost, for me, I hear almost everything you shared in there, and vice versa. And that's what we're sharing in this room. Okay, and this is the story about Helen Minute, and also the idea of your life right now. There's life pumping through you. You have a heart, you have a mouth, you have a brain, you have arms. Most of us have manual dexterity. And then we sit back and go, well, what's my life about? And I'm challenging you today, I'm asking you, what is your life about? And is there something that you're not taking action in? You know, I feel I played a part in your journey, coming out from hiding. Now, you may explain it different to other people. For me, I see it, for me. To step out enough, to be courageous enough to interfere in another's life such that they find themselves in that moment, or you play that part in there. That's a context I create. That's the context I create, is impacting others. If you look at our strapline, take the business bit out because we don't use that anymore, but inspiring collective action. Think about it. If we can inspire enough people on this planet, do you think we can get the governments we want? The banking system we want? The schooling we want? For them, for the next generation. That's why I do this.
It's all for you, Tyler.
So you can have a job. So you can have a job when you get older.
And you can take him nice things in the nursing home.
School system. Come. Terence asked me to say something.
Just quickly, I'm not going to be quick. This morning I've been on a school trip with my son Hugo to Paradise Wildlife Park, and I got to witness how the kids are being treated and how they're being brought up, so to speak. My child, Hugo's only 4 years old, but from what you're saying there, I don't want to rain on your parade, but I think we're doomed. We are absolutely done. Just by the fact of the way they're talking to our children, bringing them up. For an example is, they do this thing, they're sitting down, they go, children, magnet eyes, they call it, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, magnet eyes, everybody's looking at them. It's similar to being hypnotised. I don't know if I'm being paranoid or whatever, but that's what's going on in the classroom, and I witnessed that this morning. And throughout the rest of the day, they're saying these little things all of the time. And
you're not running on my parade. This is what
to a 4-year-old, the way they're bringing them up and conforming is just, it's absolutely bonkers. And it's the first time I've been back to schools for 20 years since I left school. And that's how my child's being brought up. By a countdown, look at my eyes, magnet eyes, and everyone's silent. They're literally under a spell. Look, I promise you, it was literally like under a spell. And then they're ordered to do what they've got to do.
Didn't we yesterday, you said that one of the teachers went like that?
Yeah, and I've never done anything at school, ever. And this week I've done it twice. And then I went to my child's 9-year-old. I went to help out, be a helper there. And there was kids, they're all just being taught to line up, sit down. There was a group of people, the children sitting in a circle. They go, no, sit in a line. They was sat in a line. And one of them was misbehaving, not hugely, but just misbehaving. But the way the teacher just said, whatever his name was, here, like a dog. I wouldn't treat a dog like that. This is the best school in Hertfordshire, in Abel Smith. But this is how they're teaching our children. I mean, clicking your fingers, going here and pointing to the floor is no way to be treating a human being.
That's one bad teacher. Don't class.
I'm just saying, of course, but it's not the teacher's fault. Let's be honest. I think it's just the way.
The teachers aren't trained to do that.
To do that,
No,
absolutely.
they're not. They're not. That is one bad teacher.
No, but it's not the teacher's fault. I don't believe that it
Yes,
is.
I'm going to stop that. Sit down. I've
Yeah.
got run out of time. Thank you. Let's acknowledge that.
I'm in the system.
So this is going to be about a 5-minute clip, and I really want you to pay attention. This is a film called, who's heard of a film called My Dinner with Andre?
No.
Brilliant.
It's a bit out there.
No, not Andre the Giant, but you know who that is, don't you, right? The Sicilian! Never go to... Well, anyway, so just listen very carefully. I want to see what you pick up. This is a 1981 film. Okay, it's like an hour and a half of this, but this is 5 minutes.
Why do you think that is? I mean, why is that? I mean, Is it just because people are lazy today, or they're bored? I mean, are we just like bored, spoiled children who've just been lying in the bathtub all day, just playing with their plastic duck, and now they're just thinking, well, what can I do? Okay, yes, we are bored. We're all bored now. But has it ever occurred to you, Wally, that the process that creates this boredom that we see in the world now may very well be a self-perpetuating, unconscious form of brainwashing created by a world totalitarian government based on money, and that all of this is much more dangerous than one thinks, and it's not just a question of individual survival, Wally, but that somebody who's bored is asleep, and somebody who's asleep will not say no? See, I keep meeting these people. I mean, just a few days ago I met this man whom I greatly admire. He's a Swedish physicist, Gustav Bjornstrand, and he told me that he no longer watches television, he doesn't read newspapers, and he doesn't read magazines. He's completely cut them out of his life because he really does feel that we're living in some kind of Orwellian nightmare now, and that everything that you hear now contributes to turning you into a robot. And when I was at Findhorn, I met this extraordinary English tree expert who had devoted his life to saving trees. Just got back from Washington, lobbying to save the redwoods. He's 84 years old. He always travels with a backpack because he never knows where he's going to be tomorrow. And when I met him at Findhorn, he said to me, "Where are you from?" And I said, "New York." He said, "Ah, New York, yes, that's a very interesting place. Do you know a lot of New Yorkers who keep talking about the fact that they want to leave but never do?" And I said, "Oh, yes." And he said, "Why do you think they don't leave?" I gave him different banal theories. He said, "Oh, I don't think it's that way at all." He said, "I think that New York is the new model for the new concentration camp, where the camp has been built by the inmates themselves, and the inmates are the guards, and they have this pride in this thing they've built. They've built their own prison, and so they exist in a state of schizophrenia, where they are both guards and prisoners, and as a result, they no longer have, having been lobotomized, the capacity to leave the prison they've made, or to even see it as a prison." And then he went into his pocket and he took out a seed for a tree and he said, "This is a pine tree." He put it in my hand and he said, "Escape before it's too late." See, actually for 2 or 3 years now, Chiquita and I have had this very unpleasant feeling that we really should get out. And we really should feel like Jews in Germany in the late 30s. Get out of here. Of course, the problem is where to go, because it seems quite obvious that the whole world is going in the same direction. See, I think it's quite possible that the 1960s represented the last burst of the human being before he was extinguished, and that this is the beginning of the rest of the future now, and that from now on there'll simply be all these robots walking around, feeling nothing, thinking nothing, and there'll be nobody left almost to remind them that there once was a species called a human being, with feelings and thoughts, and that history and memory are right now being erased, and soon nobody will really remember that life existed on the planet.
We're all doomed, aren't we?
So, that's 3 minutes of it actually.
Okay, what's the film called?
My Dinner with Andre. And if you YouTube it, you can find the full-length version. I've watched it numerous occasions and it's just fascinating. And it's just literally a dialogue. 2 men talking and getting served food. So what did you hear in that? Did something spark you? I saw some kind of other little smiles, Carol.
I heard that we're actually just a prisoner of our mind. So we've created the barrier around us. And we can break through it.
So you had the opportunity of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, because, you know, I've lived a lot longer than you have, and probably
I think a lot longer.
a lot longer. I was a prisoner of my mind.
Yeah.
I was a prisoner of limited thoughts and feelings, and I used food, so I didn't actually feel anything at all.
Mm.
So, you know, just before my 60th, suddenly awakened. And I talk now about, you know, my story starts with, I was born 3 years ago. And people go, but that's how it feels, because I'm no longer a prisoner.
Wow.
Well done, well done. It's a long
I can't wait to hear your no, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I was just having that thought. I wonder how you achieve this.
Everybody's having that thought.
Yeah, yeah. Who else? Who else? We haven't got loads of time, but who else? little short. What do you get?
Being under the influence.
Yeah.
Stereotyping or conditioning.
The conditioning. Yeah. Yeah.
But don't you think though that I get the point that they're making, and I get the point that people make constantly about we're all, you know, Marxist brainwashing things going on and all the rest of it. But maybe I'm an eternal optimist, but I have a sense that we are waking up.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah.
People want to live off the grid now.
Yeah.
People want to be self-sustaining. People caring more and more about the planet.
Yeah.
And it's great that these things are highlighted because it does make everybody stop and think. But I do believe we're not stupid. We'll never go that far that we can't come back. We scare ourselves a lot, but there's always enough people.
There's a generation lost, I believe.
Yeah, but you're a very pessimistic person. Every time I've seen at these meetings, you've gone, my children are doing my YouTube. The education's killing my kids.
This is the sort of feedback I'm getting.
Okay. Great. Fantastic. Fantastic. You two, after class, come and see me. So look, I do some quote trawling. I've got this one. Imagine where you will be, and it will be so. So I'm with you. I don't think it's too late. I don't think it's a done deal either way.
No, I don't.
I think there's work to be done.
We wouldn't be sitting here if it was too late.
No, exactly. So we want to, you know, our high level intention for this organisation is making a global impact, and that's always been at the forefront of everything we've been doing. You know, creating that conversation. And another one is what I love this one. What we do in Life Echoes in Eternity. Marcus Aurelius.
And on Facebook.
Yes. Yeah. We do make a difference, and in collaboration, we can harness those intentions and amplify them. For me, it's an amplification of those few people coming together and making things happen that were not there before. So create something. I want you to think about what you're going to create in the spirit of both these people's inputs. One, I think we're optimistic, there's loads happening, it's changing. Two, we ain't out of it yet. And I think they're both, having a foot in both of those camps is keeping that optimism, that resilience, that drive for what's possible, inspiring that collective action, our raison d'etre for BCOG, but also knowing, in my view, I think we've got 10, 14 years, if we don't crack the human experience, this is now about the survival of the species. That's where I'm at.
Can I just say something? I am powerful is the solution to that. Completely.
Do you think it's an accident that she's here?
No, it is completely.
No, I'm serious.
Like
synchronization.
Yes.
Yeah, that is the solution. 100%.
There you go. I don't know, but I'll go with it. No, I don't
That's
need
what
to know.
I mean,
What's the
that's
difference
all the
between
money.
I am powerful and be powerful?
No, let's leave that. Can you do that after in the bar? We haven't got time.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the only reason.
Because what,
No, we have done it.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Click your fingers, Erkan, and point.
I'm challenging you to create something or some things with people in this room and the wider community and your wider communities that was not there before you came along. I Am Powerful is a complete creation and an expression of someone's life. Can you all get Kay's commitment to making that difference? Yes? You got it, yeah? It was only like 10 minutes ago, guys. Don't like full sleep yet. Right? Also, engage heart. You know, there's a whole load of science around the heart and the brain, and there are brain cells in the heart and loads of stuff. But feel the empathy, feel the connection. You hear someone say something that goes contrary, think, well, okay, look, you've got an optimistic view of things waking up, and here's a guy worrying about, do you know how many kids he's got? He's half the population of Hertford. He's got 5 kids. Do you think he's got a stake? Do you think he's got a stake in how this world goes? Probably more than any of us here. Who's got more than 5? Alan?
It's not a competition.
No. See?
You need to go to the vet, Terry.
And this is let's all chip in and buy the snip. In fact, Amy gave me a couple of quid to it. So it's something about impact and results. Right? Look, I got something. We did. Jill and I went on the Alternative Youth Conference about 2 weeks ago, and the kind of something really landed for me. is there are those who are asleep, Debs. I promise you. They're in the matrix. They are going to work, they're paying their I was watching the, you know, do you want to know what it is? You know, from the Matrix. It's there when you pay your taxes, it's there when you go to, you know, there is this matrix, I think, I see it now. You know, if you step back and step back and step back from that paradigm, you can see it like that. Obviously there are those that they're inside it, it's their full periphery. Some of you have broken out of it, haven't you? Some of you were in it for years. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? So, so there's those people, right? Then you've got the people, and these people I'm not that comfortable with right now. Those who have woken up and aren't doing jack. Right? Because they'll go, oh, I think you'll find that study was 1984, Erkan, and then oh, shut up, what are you doing about it? Nothing. You know who I admire? Scott. You know what I admire him? 4 meetings a month, building a group, putting his arse on the line, sharing, making it happen, and he's pulling the team around him to make it happen. Who I admire? Jill. Because she had some kind of brain disorder that went, I'll go with that.
I'm getting treatment.
Yes. Speak to Kay. You know, those people who are kind of are getting the information, are waking up to what the hell's going on around us, and don't do anything. From fear, lack of confidence, don't know what to do, there's them. And then there's this lot. Inspiring collective action. Then there's you. Us. We. What are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it on our watch, Kay? What are we going to do about it on our watch, Simon? Jerry? Jerry's going to help me be inspired. What are you going to do that makes an impact in reality? Otherwise, you know what? It's just whole hot air. Isn't it? Isn't it? That's what I'm up for. I'm really up for up in the game in terms of impact. Wherever that best fits you. Wherever that is where your higher self, higher purpose is most appropriately going to make that impact. You know when a wave hits the shore, where did the wave start? Thousands, hundreds of miles out at sea, doesn't it? But what we do is we see the impact and go, oh, look, nice wave. It took 4 hours to get here, or 5 years, or whatever. Yeah, it's that impact we've got to be thinking about. And what's next? So I want you to think about what is next. What's the next appropriate action? What's the next thing? Who are you going to meet with? Who are you going to talk to? Who are you going to send an email to? And go, hey mate, you've been talking about this for how long? You know what, I'm sick of listening to it. Oh, don't talk about it anymore, let's do something about it. Are you talking to people like that? I talk to people. And I don't have that many friends. But I will sell out on friendship like that. You know what? It don't bother me. I'm not out to make friends. I don't need friends. Do you need friends? You don't need friends. We need people who are aligned in action to make something happen. In the context of this conversation. Yeah? Because friendship is not what is going to get the job done. It isn't. So speculate. Did I spell it right?
Yeah.
I did.
You did. Yeah, correct.
Right, speculate. These are the questions I've got for you, right? 1. Who could you meet with? Who has anybody today heard someone in the room speak and you had a thought, I'm going to speak to them? Who had the thought? Yeah? Write it down now and make sure you speak to them before they leave today. There's an urgency here, right? They may not be here next time. We live like, oh, I'll speak to Chris about that next week, and then it doesn't happen for 3 years. There's an urgency. You know that egg and sperm image you used to show? That's the point of conception. You have that thought, oh, I've got to speak to Linda. Then go speak to Linda now. That's your intuition kicking in. I'm not going to go there. But Chris has brought me in on an idea right now that is so inspiring me and so beyond me, and probably you as well, that even being asked is a compliment. Hey, Angela, I want to talk to you about an idea I've got. And Angela will go, ooh, I've got no idea. Ooh, I'd like to be part of it, yeah. Don't you think
Is
that's
that how she speaks?
Do you know, Tyler and Angela really remind me of each other. When they talk, they both go, that's why she's not talking. Yeah, exactly. It's all that genius flooding out, right? So if you've got something like that, go meet with someone and talk to them. And share that idea. Don't let it just fall by the wayside and fall onto the crack in the pavement. What request stroke request can you make? Right? A request, there's only 3 outcomes to a request. Like, let's do this as a group. What's the first possible outcome to a request?
Yes.
Right. What's the second?
No.
What's the third?
Maybe.
Maybe, or counter offer, right? That's your genius kicking in. But what do we do? I can't possibly ask Claudia that. She'll probably say no, I don't know, I'll leave it to me. And then we dilly-dally and when nothing happens. Go up to Claudia and say, hey Claudia, this program you're talking about, how can I get involved? Or how can I do it? When are you going to do it? No. Go make it happen. All you have to do is talk to her. Do you know when you talk to her, or Kay, or Jill, or Alan, or whoever's inspired you today, you go talk to them, you've acknowledged their genius. Or you've understood their pain. Who here got his pain?
Yeah.
You got it, right?
Immediately.
Yeah.
My kids are in the same school. Well, one of them. The other one escaped. What skills? Look, listen, this is serious. What skills are you missing? Who has them? I can't build a website for...
Toffee.
I wasn't going to say that. What is it you can't do that you make that your reason why you're not doing it? I don't edit, or I can't write something, or I can't take a photo, I can't talk to people in front of a room. What story are you living inside of? What frame that makes it not happen? Oh, and by the way, you're all guilty of this. I don't have the time. Yeah, well, you're going to run out sooner or later, that's for sure. Money. Yeah, doesn't that stop everyone? Time and money. You know what? In coaching we say they're complete red herrings. They are the worst, lowest level obstacle that you could ever put in front of any challenge. Time and money. So you make it a duty, find the money.
There's always money somewhere.
And this is a guy who spent how many years in financing? And how much money? How much money is there out there, Chris?
Billions.
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 Right. Who here wants to find out more about? Maybe we've got a genius slot, or maybe a 9 below slot coming up. How to get money. I don't mean for a new fridge and bathroom. I mean to fulfil on your dreams. Because that project you're talking about is a dream. It's a dream. And then,
Is it, which bank is it you're going to rob? I'll be the driver.
and then who here today has had an aha eureka moment? A stroke of insight, an opening of a, yeah? Who? Put your hand up, have you? Right, if you don't act on it, you've wasted the gift. That's the thing I'm going to tell you, there's a sense of urgency. You had a whoop whoop, that's it. That's as good as it gets, Angela. Whoop whoop, done. Whoop whoop. You got that, didn't you, Tyler? Yeah, that's it. So you have to pay attention. You have to engage heart, you have to engage intuition, and you have to engage both nuts. That's the joke between me and Claudia.
Yeah.
It's what it takes. It takes courage. Because you've got to overcome something where you're not overcoming it. And however you dress it up and why it doesn't happen, that's all your stuff. Because in the world of possibility, it's possible. You get that, right?
Yes.
So something you're holding on, something you're holding off, something you're putting off, this space is not up for those things. This space is for what's possible. This is sacred. We're doing holy work. Whatever it is. You know there's more in you than you're putting out. You know that. And I'm not talking about more effort and trying harder. This isn't school. Engage genius. I was going to talk about my pigeon story, but we ain't going to get there today. Right? Shall I do the pigeon story?
Yeah, pigeon.
Okay, my pigeon story. I'm talking intention, a level that I'm only just starting to discover for myself. So we were in a coaching session about, what, 4 weeks ago? And we was on a very heavy coaching session. Who's been in a coaching session with me? Do they get heavy sometimes?
Very.
And he needed a breather, and we left his boardroom and we went out to the back of the building. It's like enclosed with the back of buildings. You ever been in a space like that? So you can't really see anything, it's just the back of buildings. And in the back of it there's this net, like a net to stop pigeons landing, all that kind of stuff. And there was this pigeon stuck in the net, and it was going foo-foo-fum, 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 it was stuck. And he was stuck inside a story. Yes? You all right with this?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything confidential. So he was stuck in a story, and I'm saying, look, that net represents the story you're stuck in. And that pigeon is stuck inside the net, and it's real. He goes, yeah, but I can't see the thing. I said, watch, I'm going to have that pigeon out of here within, how long did I say?
I can't. You said I'll get that pigeon to leave. You said I'll get that pigeon to leave, but it was in sort of within a minute.
It was. You could see the pigeon was a bit distressed, and it flew that way. And me and him standing like this. I said, "I'll have that pigeon out of it in 3 minutes." And he went, "Go on." And I was like, I said it, but I said it with such intention that the pigeon went poof poof. Then he went back. I said, "Pigeon." I said, "Up, up, like that." He's gone like that. Poof, gone, like that. Didn't it happen?
Did you?
You tell like to get out that way. You don't tell it.
Yeah.
Go.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
Erkan Ali, the pigeon was.
Pigeon was. But that's the level of intention we need.
Yeah.
We need that level of intention. Are you being that level of intention? In your work, in your relationship, in your projects, in your ambitions, in your dreams? Are you being that level of intention? What would life be like? What would our world look like if we operated at that level more than we do now? That's my invitation. To operate at that level of intention more than we do now. Like when you go into a room, who are you in that room for others? Did you get a flavour for Kay's commitment today to you? Did you get it? Did you feel it?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah. Do you feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't mistake
Different
that.
though.
Yeah. Different. It's different, isn't it? You love it, isn't it? But that's what it's going to take. That undaunting level of commitment. Like this isn't going any other way. That pigeon is free because I'm here. And if it hadn't got out, it'd been a different story. But it did get out. It did get out. It did get out. 3 times. I've never been close to death, really. I've brought it on a couple of times, but listen to that. This woman is not here to just sit here. I tell you that now. You got that, right?
Yeah.
I tell you, I'm not here to just sit here. You know that, right? You've just met me, you know that now, don't you?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Now you know we are. Don't sit in the front camera.
You call it the spitting zone. Write it down afterwards. It's a rookie mistake, everyone does it. Some people just love it. So, I'm going to invite you, with you at the front of the room, to start their sharing to complete the session. What insights, what context shift, and what actions. So I want you to share, not in your story. I don't want an explanation. I really love Kay's talk. I thought that was really inspiring. I don't care. I want to know. Sorry, I don't mean you don't care, but I don't think you do either. What I want to know is, what's the insight, what's the context shift, and what's the actions? And I want to keep it, I don't want a story. Let's just get down to pigeon, up, out. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear you practice that level of intention where it doesn't take a whole load of fluffing up. So who wants to go first? That level.
I'll go first. I picked something up from Kay today, where basically Kay's got out of her situation and her problems. She's learnt a whole load of things, and she was passionate about what she had learnt about and passionate about helping people. She has followed a passion, and that's changed her immeasurably. And I sit here thinking about my past and, you know, how good some things have been and how poor other things have been. But what has really inspired me about what I have done over the past 3 years is helping people and giving them a better life. So my mission now is to do something related to that I'm really passionate about.
So, I'm going to be rigorous with you, Chris.
Yes.
Right? You know I love you, right? You've got that.
Yeah, I've got that.
Right. So, the insight is what?
Follow your passion.
I'm going to give you another alternative. I make a difference.
Okay.
Do you get the difference?
Yes.
Yes? You make a difference.
Yeah.
You have impact. Do you get that?
Yeah.
Say it like that.
I have impact.
I make an impact. More powerful. Isn't it?
I make a difference.
I make a difference. What are the actions next?
You wanted to go first.
What are the actions? So I need to get off my butt and get out there and start thinking about how I can do stuff.
Right, I'm not buying that. So what one thing can you do tomorrow that will forward something that's important to you?
I need to have a conversation with someone.
Are you going to make that conversation tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you just let me know how it goes? I don't need the details, but just go, I did it. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah? Acknowledge us as a space to
Put
create.
it on the group.
Yeah, just share that you did it. Got it?
On the
You
Facebook
got
group.
it. The shift, the action.
Yeah.
The rest of it is all just story. Great. That's for the pub. Right now, we want shift and action. Got it?
Okay.
That's what I'm looking for, guys. Who wants to go next? Thank you. We'll acknowledge everyone after. Who else? Shift and action.
Okay, so the shift, and this is from something you just said, you have to engage with, sorry, you have to engage hearts. So my insight or shift is I engage with my heart. And the action, I'll give one, action is the next time I pick the phone up to speak to a prospect or a client, is really to speak and engage with that person for my heart.
Great. That's great. We'll acknowledge after. Who else? Anyone else? Come on. Come on. In language we create the world. One more person, then we'll share to finish. Simon.
You know, I was talking to you about a massive idea that it could be deemed totally naive. The action I'm going to do when I take it is I'm going to get this straight in my mind so that I can actually stand at the front and present that, and that's what I'm going to put together over the next
So what was the shift?
The shift?
Yes, what was the shift? Can I suggest...
Oh, it was just the impetus to actually get it out.
Urgency.
Urgency to get it out to the group.
Urgency, and then and what are you going to do? A known be known or what?
No, I've done a known be known. Yeah,
just share it.
As long as there's a sort of 20-minute slot, however you want to fit it in, then I'll share it.
Okay, I'll leave that. Right, who else? What's happened? You've gone a bit scared now. Do you know what that is? That's knowing the next thing that comes out of your mouth is going to really be heard. I've given you the experience of being heard. Really heard. Listened to. Bling. So you know the next thing comes out of your mouth is not just padding or waffle or I liked it, I didn't like it. I don't really care about all that. I want to know what's going to happen next. What other insight did you have? What other insight? Jerry?
I think I had an insight from Kay that I think from that adversity comes gifts which she's now manifesting. You know, I think she's gained these things from that adversity.
Yeah, that's that insight and action.
I need to talk to Kay about helping with someone I know because I think she could help him and no one else has been able to.
Brilliant. There you go. Fantastic. Brilliant, Jerry. Thank you. Who else? One more.
I've been here twice and I've heard a story from Scott and I've heard a story from Kay. And they both hit me very, very hard. Kay's, and you know, it's not a competition, but certainly Kay's today was very, very poignant. But both of these people who I have listened to in their B&B known have had some real serious adversity. And the great thing is what they are today.
Yeah.
It's shaped them.
Okay.
It really has.
That's fantastic. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's take the pressure off. With the person next to you, we've gone over time by the way, so if you have to leave at 6.
Well, can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Because we've all had these little post-its, so everybody is going to be seeing somebody in the next month. Why don't you put that on the discussion list when you get together and you connect up? It might be a Skype, it might be a phone call, it might be face-to-face, which would be ideal. And then just say, what action are you thinking of? And share, and then we'll bring it back next month.
Okay, but I think I can feel the tension in the room. So just to let people go, just kind of right. Person next to you, 2 minutes, 1 minute each way, and then we'll round it up and call the meet go. Go with the person. Just what's opening up for you, what are you getting from this session, and what do you want to say to just get yourself finishing the session? Go.
Here we go. The person you showed it.
You lead. I've never had such an audacious idea. It's only...
Because that was like the real that was the whole, like you said, your brother was struggling with his head. But that's not really
I was represented at Beer and Denise said to me, are you genuinely body and it may not be, it may just come out of word he'd be pretty radical, so maybe something
that you were laughing.
No, wait for the moment. But no, it's a safe place here. It will get yourself started.
Who knows, maybe we don't have a good bad round dinner, to have an inspirational idea.
It's taking time. The world's told me for sort of 50 years, you can do that, you know how to do that, you can do that. But this is, everything is possible, and it's everybody is behind it.
And for a long time, that's a big impact. Because of my health.
Children ain't getting in some other places.
Magnet eyes.
I like this.
Magnetise.
Okay.
Magnet eyes, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yes.
Mate, you've got to get with the Abel Smith clicking your finger thing.
You are already. Okay, so who wants to say just like that? My session's finished. Let's just a couple of minutes to just sum up the session today, and then we'll all go down to the bar.
Can I just quickly say, you said about, I can't remember under your slide started off with having an idea or, I can't remember what you said at the top.
Yeah, go on.
Well, so we are doing the
Yes.
conference session.
Do you want to come to the front? Just announce it. Yes.
Is this your open session?
Yes.
So,
yes. We weren't going to mention it during this.
So the London meeting in September the 26th?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Which whenever it is. So we're doing an open session to come up with, like, get people to come along with areas they want to have an impact or ideas they sort of like got a seed of but don't quite know how to take forward. And the idea is to come up with some ideas and get some people to collaborate around those ideas. So if you have a little kernel of an idea that come up today and you're not quite sure, you might start to take some actions, but it's not, you need to get a bigger momentum behind it. Bring it along to that session, and you can get a chance to get some people to work with you. Collaborate. Yes.
Thank you for
Is that when we do that open room? Open space. Open space. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Thank you. Okay. Anyone else? Sharing to finish off the session. Scott. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Do you want to come to the front, or do you want to do it from the front?
Even though we just sit there, I'm comfortable with it. Come to the front.
We have gone over, guys, so you know.
We're just talking about Angela, and now you'll remember this. When was you in the museum? Was it February?
February, yes.
February. When I did the Genius Slot Essex, and Linda was there, weren't you? And I talked about playing a bigger game. Right? There was a thing, something that Stuart said, and then Glenn said, and then a landmark, and then and then that genius slot at Essex and the reaction. And my big action was, so that was the inside, the context was playing a bigger game. And stepping up to be a leader rather than just a follower, if you like. My big action then was about, and I did it, and I promised you that day, and we were just talking about Tangent, about was this world is doing it everywhere. You know, what I do in these rooms, I do in all walks of life. I do it in my BOX, which is a very BNI type thing, you know, with a thing. I do it at home. I do it everywhere. I do it with my clients. I do it everywhere. And I'm very humble with you, Chris. Really appreciate that. And I'm hearing that so much. I can. It's palpable, the reaction to people in the outside world. Not many of you know, but anyone know Paul Battle, don't you? Might know Paul, eh? But to hear him say the words, to quote Scott, this is coming from a place of love. Do you know? Thank you. Do you know? That's because when I stood up in Essex and got really emotional, that I said, no, that's it. I'm doing this everywhere, and that's the impact it's having everywhere. And I think that was my action. So I think there's so much great stuff that's come out today. Kay, I know you do it in the outside world, so I've seen that. So which is why I've grabbed you off. But for my wife and not for me. So, but that's the action. It's doing it. It's all right doing it in this room, but I guarantee you do it outside this room. Some magical stuff is happening. It's not all rosy. There's still some shit that hits the fan every so often. But you know what? It hits the fan. I don't deal with it. Yeah, I mean, I don't deal with it. I deal with it, but I don't get. We had a particular thing that hit the fan, and whereas before it would have derailed us, me and Nicole, my wife, quite a lot on things. It was like that. It just moved on. Just dealt with it.
Okay.
And that was it. So.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you. This is nice stuff. Okay, Scott, do you want to lead everyone to the bar? I mean, Jill and whoever wants to stay and help us pack out the room, and then we'll go downstairs.
Can I just ask about the car park?
Yeah.
I've got until 6:22. It finishes at 6:30. Are they really hot on it? Do you have to?
You should be alright.
Should be alright.
Mine's 6:29.
You should be okay, because they have to give you 5 minutes at least.
Oh, because I
They give you at least 5 minutes over, and you get a ticket at 20.
If you contested that,
I think
though,
it's
it's a bit of a job's worthy, isn't it?
No, it's free.
Oh, it's free. Oh, I'm fine.
You're talking about the multi-story, yeah?
Yeah. What car have you got? Yeah, because I'll protect it.
Cool, thank you for coming.
What floor is it on? The ground. Oh yeah, I'm on the ground as well.